Hello YouTube, this is Satsu 5. This is another vlog style video. I actually have two. I might combine them, but basically it's a question like up north, like relevant to like North America, you know, Yankees, people not in the South. Do y'all conversate with waiters and waitresses and people like at the bank tunnel, like as friends, even though you don't know each other? Because this is something that's not too uncommon. We treat, you know, at least it's been my experience, we treat waiters and waitresses when it's not really busy, kind of friendly, almost like there are hairdressers or barbers. I can't say that word correctly, but hairdressers, hairstylists. I happen to not go to a barber. I go to a hairstylist or hairdresser because I went to school with her, and I like friendly, familiar faces. But yeah, like when if it's like a mom and pop store or a restaurant, or if it's not too busy, I actually did this at Buffalo Wild Wings. Like, we'll just talk about like pretty personal things, not like real intimate things, but you know, like family, you know, how's life doing? Is it good? Is it bad? Can I help you? Can I pray for you? School, like if it's a college thing, and we'll just talk about that stuff. And like there's this girl that waited on me at Buffalo Wild Wings, and she was my favorite waitress, by the way. And like we just got to talk and just started talking about problems she had with her family, and you know, and then one night I was eating there with my brother, and she waited on this table, and they made a pretty big bill, but they didn't tip, and she was just completely downcast. And so me and my brother noticed this, and she complained to us, you know, not like, it was more of a boo-hoo, I'm really upset, you know, I'm sad because, you know, I have rent. It wasn't like a complaint. She wasn't bitching at all. But so me and my brother made an extra big tip to compensate. And after that, I realized when I go to Buffalo Wild Wings on UFC nights, I spend like 6 or 7 hours there per night on those UFC nights. And I came to the conclusion that for the amount of time that they spend with me, I was really under tipping. You know, I was tipping the proper percentage, but for the time, you know, as long as I was staying there, if I just left and ate normally, like, they can get a workflow and they can get many more tips in the time that it takes me to eat and watch TV there. So I started tipping excessively to compensate. And like first, you know, we've been friendly for a long time, but you know, and we're on a hugging basis before I started tipping excessively. But you know, when I say excessively, well, I'm not going to say what I tipped, but it was a good chunk, but it wasn't like outrageous, but it was a good chunk. But anyways, you know, we're already on a hugging basis. Hey, how are you? You know, and you know, we're friendly and stuff. But I just kind of took it as she's hugging me because I'm tipping her. I'm not an a-hole, and you know, it didn't really mean that much to me. I mean, it meant something to me, but I took it as for what it's worth. But then after she quit, and she quit without telling me that she was going to quit. But like a year or so later, she moved, but she came back, and she was a customer at Buffalo Wild Wings, and she saw me and came up and gave me a hug. And I was like, cool, you know, I actually made a good impression on her. You know, it's not just because, you know, I was tipping her, but, you know, we actually had a, I guess you could say a relationship, not a romantic relationship, but, you know, we had a friendly relationship. So I thought that was cool. And, those other people, like the manager at Buffalo Wild Wings, we're on a pretty friendly basis. We talk about guns, and, he asked me how we're doing and stuff. And, one time I left Buffalo Wild Wings early on a UFC night because the fights were terrible, and then my friend Daniel wasn't there. And I was like, you know what, I'm just not having fun, I'm going to leave. And he was like, come on, man, buy some drinks, hang out. And I was like, well, I don't drink alone, and my friend's not here, I think I'm going to leave. I was like, man, I'll hang out with you. We're just, we're cool. And this is pretty common it's been my experience that in the South, I don't know if it's the same way up north, and but we'll just we'll treat our waiters and waitresses and people in the service industry like a hairdresser, and then we treat our people like our hairdressers. We treat our hairdressers like therapists. It's like, I'm paying you to cut my hair for however long it takes. You're going to listen to my problems, and it gets pretty personal sometimes. And of course, my hairdresser is a good friend that I went to school with, so that might have something to do with it as well. But I was just curious if if that is a thing like in New York City or Pennsylvania or North Dakota. The Dakotas are not really considered Yankees, I don't think. I don't think they're part of the Union at the time. I don't know. But usually the South has our stereotypes of how Yankees act, and there are stereotypes of how the South acts. And keep in mind, when I talk about the South and Southern heritage and stereotypes and culture, I have no affiliation with the Confederacy. I don't believe they'll rise again or anything like that. I'm not like a rebel in wait or anything. But I'm a Texan, and we have a culture. I'm just curious if our stereotypes of the Northern culture are correct or not. And this was pointed out to me on a YouTube video that in the South we do this. In a Southern satire YouTube video, and I started thinking about it. I was like, yeah, we really do that. And I guess I'll go ahead and film the rest of my vlog video here. The Middle Eastern woman that works at the Mexican food restaurant, I think she's either from Georgia or Jordan. I can't remember. She said Georgia, but one of her coworkers said Jordan. I don't know if I misunderstood one or the other. But I was going to ask. She's studying Spanish because she's working in a Mexican restaurant, and she constantly gets confused as a Mexican, so she's learning the language. And history, language, and culture are things that are very interesting to me. And I knew some things about the Iberian Peninsula, and when I was checking out, we talked a little bit while I was eating. But when I was checking out and paying my tab, I said, hey, I don't know if you're aware of this, but Spanish has Arabic influences in it. She told me she spoke Arabic, which I thought was interesting. I didn't know what language they speak in Jordan or Georgia, whichever one it is, but apparently Arabic is one of the languages. And I still don't know what religion she is, or if she even has a religion, but she speaks Arabic, or her native tongue is Arabic. I said, hey, that Spanish has Arabic influences. I said, I'm not entirely sure what they are, but, and she's like, yeah, I heard that. I didn't know that until I started studying Spanish, and she said, like, words like pantalon is a similar word, and she said that there's other words that are very similar in Arabic and Spanish. And I felt cool, or I felt good, because I wasn't BSing. Like, I actually knew what I was talking about. I heard that there was Arabic influence because of the Moors invading Spain or the Iberian Peninsula that's kind of one of the reasons why we fought the Crusades, that and some other reasons. But I knew that there was Arabic influences, and it kind of reaffirmed that I knew what I was talking about, and it made me feel good. But you know, like, I don't know this woman personally, but you know, we had a meaningful conversation, and you know, it has something to do with, I guess, the Southern thing. You know, we want to get to know you. We want to be friendly. We want to, you know, we just want to know who we're talking to on some level. And so, and again, I did this again in Galveston when I was at I already made a video on this, but I was in a Golden Corral in Galveston, and this girl came up to me and she said, "My name's Anastasia, I'll be serving you today." And me and my friend Daniel, we grew up with a Russian friend, and she walked off and said, "Hey, Daniel, she has an accent." Excuse me. I said, "I think she's Russian." And he's like, "Yeah, I heard it too." And I said, "Let me try something." She comes up, and I said, and she says something. I said, "Spasiba." And she goes, "You speak Russian?" I was like, "A little." And she's like, "What do you know?" I was like, "I know a little bit of Russian, German, Spanish." She goes, "No, what Russian do you know?" I said, "Привет, как дела? Меня зовут Austin, это Daniel, как тебя зовут?" And her jaw dropped. And I said, "I'm sorry, did I say something wrong?" She was like, "No, I haven't had anybody speak that kind of Russian to me since I moved to the States." And we had a really cool conversation about Russia and stuff. It was really cool. So again, if you live like in Pennsylvania, New England, basically is what I'm referring to. Do y'all do that in restaurants? That's it. I'm a Satsu 5, and I'm out.